My name is Abdullah Esa Shebani, and in this video I will be presenting my PSM2 project. Now, the title of my project is a near real-time web-based Twitter data visualization tool for the 2024 United States elections. Now, to give you a bit of background about the project, now there's a lot of information regarding the presidential election, especially on social media platforms online, where a lot of people post about their opinions on certain topics regarding the election and about certain candidates. Now, this provides a very big opportunity for this information to be collected and analyzed. But the main problem here is that because we're dealing with a large amount of data, it's very difficult for individuals to manually analyze it because it will be time consuming to deal with millions and if not billions of records of information. Also, they will eventually get bored. So what's the solution to this problem? Well, the solution is to use what we call data visualizations. Now, data visualizations are representations of data where they simplify, they provide a format to simplify the complex and raw data into an understandable manner that can be understood by users. Now, this project will focus on two candidates, which are Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both who represent their respective political parties, being the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Now, the aim of the project is to focus on four technologies. We have web scraping, which is the process that will be involved in pulling our data from the X platform, previously known as Twitter. And this will all be done in near real time. And then we'll also be using data processing and cleaning, as well as the last technology, which is data visualization. Now, here are the objectives of our project. The first objective would be to analyze the requirements needed to develop a tool that visualizes data related to the 2024 elections, which was done in PSM1. In PSM2, we're focusing on the second and third objective, which is to develop the actual tool and then evaluate the tool through a survey. Now we're looking at the methodology of our project, the development methodology. So this project utilizes a waterfall and agile hybrid approach, where in the first phase we'll be conducting the literature review and planning the requirements that we need to develop this tool. Second phase would be to create the architecture and the structure of the project, as well as designing the UI and the database schema. The third phase is where we start with the actual development. This is where we set up the scraping techniques, as well as developing the data visualizations and integrating them with the database in order to visualize the data. In our last phase, we'll be performing, the last phase will be a testing phase, where we will be performing testing by providing users with a survey to fill in after they have tested our website. From that feedback and comments that we receive, we will be making adjustments or proper adjustments based on the users' feedback that they have given towards the visualizations or towards the overall usability, informativeness, or the UI of the website. So now we move on to the technologies. So for front end, we'll be using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. We're also using a library called V3. It's a JavaScript library that is used to create visualizations. Now, this is a library that will be used in our project in order to render and create the visualizations. For backend, we'll be using PHP and MySQL in order to connect to our database and insert the information to our remote database. And for web scraping, we're using a tool called Apify. Now, Apify is a web scraping platform. It's a website that you can find online. The name is Apify. And they have a list of apps, and each app is used to scrape information off of a website. Now, for example, you'd have a separate app for Google reviews, an app for Instagram, an app for TikTok, an app for Twitter. In our case, each app is used to scrape certain types of information. So some are used to scrape, for instance, reviews. Some are used to scrape comments. Some could be to scrape retweets or profiles. And the way that it works is that it only scrapes, or it only has the capability and the ability to scrape publicly available information. So information that you can view without needing to log in into a website. Now I'll be showing you the overall system architecture of the project. Starting here at the bottom, now apps on Appify are called actors. This is why this is called Appify actor. So the actor here requests information or requests tweets from Twitter or X, and then X returns those records of tweets. Once this actor or this app finishes running, it triggers a workflow on Zapier. Now, Zapier is an automation workflow software. So once Zapier detects that the app has finished running, triggers this workflow, which connects or which takes in the data or the results from this run, and it places them into a Google Sheet. Now, this would be the action. The action would be to place the data. First here, the trigger would be to take the data, and then the action would be to place it on a Google Sheet and organize the separate records into separate rows. And then using JavaScript on Google Sheets itself, we process, format, and clean the data, and then insert it into our remote database on Hostinger. Now, Hostinger is a web hosting platform. I have purchased a plan used on Hostinger to remotely store my MySQL database. And then once the user opens their website and views the visualizations, the records are sent to the visualizations using PHP, and then visualized using the D3 library. Now we'll be looking at the overall system flowchart. Now, starting here, the program runs 4 times, total of 4 times, in the duration of 1 month. So that month will be prior to the presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, which has happened already on the 27th of June. So this project is scheduled to run from the 1 month prior, which is from the 26th of May 2024 to the 26th of June 2024. So 1 month prior to the presidential debate, and it runs 4 times every week. So starting here, we have 1 week has passed, and time is UTC-3. Yeah, now UTC-3 is 12 a.m. Washington time. So every week at 12 a.m. Washington time, the app or actor on Appify is scheduled to run and pull as many tweets as it can. Now, once this is true, it will move on to scrape the information from Twitter and then normalize them because some fields are not normalized and are not properly formatted to be used in our database. So Appify handles the normalization of certain fields, for example, the dates, in order making sure that all dates have the same type of format, which then triggers the workflow automation tool, Zapier. Zapier then places the information on a Google Sheet into separate rows and organizes it. And then 1 hour later, Google Sheets there's the web scraping platform on Google Sheets called A.E.S.B. Now, once an hour has passed after this has been scraped, we run the A.E.S.B. platform. We have a script using JavaScript that will connect to our remote database. So you have provided with the connection details including the username, the database name, password, as well as the host name. And then it inserts all of the rows and all of the tweets and information into our remote Hostinger database. And then that data is then later visualized when the website is opened. Now we'll be looking at the visualizations that we have. So we have a total of 3 visualizations. This is the first visualization. Now this is an election Twitter engagement map. Now, what this represents is the distribution of tweets across the US. Since we're only collecting tweets from the US, we pull the location of every single tweet and then place it on a map. Now, using this filter here, we can switch between the tweets that talk about Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And then we have a legend here that represents the intensity level on each map. We can also zoom in, zoom out. We have interactivity features, downloading images in PNG, as well as displaying the total tweets over here. Now, the second visualization is representing the popularity over time. Now, since the project will focus on 1 month prior to the election, it will display data between the 26th and the 26th of May and until the 26th of June. So here we have a filter called start and end date. Now, users can choose any dates between these two dates in order to display and dynamically update the information here. And then they also have these checkboxes over here that they can click on to toggle on or off the visualization of the respective candidate. The third visualization would be, it's called a tornado visualization. Now, what this visualization does is that it represents the comparison or the instant comparison between the two candidates on all of the states. So we have all of the states over here, and then it shows how many tweets were pulled from that state, and then comparing the two candidates. We have Donald Trump, Joe Biden is blue, and then Donald Trump is red. And the way that users can interact with this data is through this sorting filter over here, where they can either sort the data alphabetically, sort the states alphabetically, or sort them by highest or lowest number of tweets. Now, we've also performed a testing phase, which is the third objective of this project. Now, to give you information about the survey that we have done, in total, I was able to collect feedback from 10 testers. Now, those testers were students, researchers, and people from the general public. So I had in total 4 students, 2 researchers, academic researchers, and 4 people from the general public test the website locally on my computer. And Google Forms was used in this case to prepare a survey that allows the users to give feedback about their website after they have tested it. Now we'll be talking about the future improvements that could be added into the website. Now, since our project utilizes near real time, which basically means that there's a delay between the scheduled pulling of data, it still has potential to use real-time data, but that will have to be achieved using the official Twitter API, since web scraping is not completely reliable to pull real-time data. Twitter API will have to be utilized in this case in order to use real time. The main issue, or the reason why I wasn't able to utilize it, was because of the price limitations. Twitter API costs $100 a month to pull only 10,000 tweets, but through that package or through that plan, real-time pulling of data can be achieved. The second suggestion for future improvement would be to have additional visualizations. Some types of visualizations that can be used would be to use, for instance, more interactive, more animated charts, such as a racing bar chart, word clouds, for instance, or other types of visualizations that could enhance or allow users to gauge and interpret the data more easily. The third and last suggestion would be to interpret to add machine learning. So currently our data does not support sentiment analysis. It only provides data specific to the US elections without highlighting whether the comment or the tweet was positive, negative, or neutral. So a suggestion would be to add this type of technology, which would be to take in the data and use sentiment analysis and machine learning in order to separate or categorize each tweet to either positive, neutral, or negative. This could enhance the ability for users, researchers to analyze this data and gain insights and predict trends. Thank you so much. That is the end of this video.